Hello and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. Last time we went to Rayya, Facility Telton, in order to blow it up, but we found out that there's blood pack there for some reason, and then they stopped being a thing, and that the facility was overrun by something which doesn't seem to be really Jack, even though Jack says she did it. So let's find out what is going on here.
Hey, Aresh, it's Kira. Yeah, the intruders are here. You want them dead? We have to talk credits. You promised us lots of salvage, but this place is a waste. Fine, we'll put them down. Then I'm coming in there and we're gonna talk salvage.
What are you doing here?
First we're gonna kill you, then we'll see.
They've seen
Kill
us.
them on.
Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Thankfully, the Krogan are on the other side. And there's Kurek. There's also a Pyro. I'm gonna deal with that first. There's a Trooper, there's some enemies around here. Actually, a sniper rifle is not bad from this position.
Target contact.
Closing.
Successful shot.
If I die, I'm haunting you, Shepard.
Hello there, Blood Pack Trooper. Crook is right there, I might as well just focus on that guy. Legion, focus on this trooper.
Target. Getting order processed.
Oh. That guy is moving up to here.
Target processed.
I can take their barriers down a bit.
Fire!
Emergency shield engaged.
You
Hostile.
Okay,
Incoming.
get back. Yeah, they're pretty useless. Alright. Oh.
Receiving fire from Allied forces.
Okay, you need to get on the ground. I need to reposition. Not like this, not like this. And turns out that warp actually stops their regeneration, which is pretty cool.
Only room left is my old cell. Whoever Aresh is, he's in there. I want to plant the bomb there anyway. Might as well do it on his corpse.
Well, why don't you also assume that Aresh might be just somewhere else and he's using a radio? Okay, so that's the door. Are we missing something here? The blood pack guy said that there's no salvage, but perhaps Aha, there's a secure container to bypass. So the guys were standing right next to salvage. Alright. Let's switch up again. And yeah, so we got everything, looks like. Let's go through the door. Plural.
Come out. We know you're here.
Who are you?
My name is Aresh, and you're breaking into my home. I know you, Subject Zero. So many years have passed, and I thought I was the only survivor.
My name is Jack. How the hell do you know me?
We all knew your face, Jack. They inflicted horrors on us so their experiments wouldn't kill you. You were the question, and I'm still looking for the answer.
Looks like you're not the only one pulled back here, Jack.
I tried to forget this, but a place like this, it doesn't forget you. It follows you. I hired these mercs and came back almost a solar year ago. We're rebuilding it piece by piece. I'm gonna find out what they knew, how to unlock true biotic potential in humans. I'm restarting the Telton facility. It will be beautiful.
I wanted a hole in the ground. He's trying to justify what happened by using it?
Yeah, that sounds deluded.
You do the same thing to new kids? Wasn't this forced on you?
Some were bought from poor families on Earth or kidnapped from colonies. Most ended up here the way I did. Batarian pirates. They did such horrible things to us. They must have had good reasons.
There's no reason good enough. Are you nuts? You lived it.
I'm sure he is nuts.
This place was like a prison. How did you get out?
We all attacked at once as they were taking us to the lab. They would have put us down. But then Jack got loose. When I came to, it was over. The guards, the scientists, and the kids were all dead. And you were gone.
I stopped it. All of it. Maybe the others did have it bad, but what you're doing is just messed.
Everything we went through must have been worth something.
Okay, so looks like all of the biotic kids decided to throw a revolt, and Jack just used that to escape. Makes sense.
We can blow up the place, but that still leaves it. What do we do with another you?
That's easy.
Just leave me here. This is where I belong.
Fuck that.
That's annoying. Because we don't like Cerberus or Cerberus apologists. I would have liked to choose this option, but I don't have the option to do that. Well,
He deserves it.
I decide how to deal with my past, not you.
I gave you an order.
Killing him isn't gonna fix my...
Jack! If you can't, I will.
That felt... good.
A bullet in the head solves everything.
I know that now. This room was my whole childhood. Give me a minute to look around.
Go ahead.
Nothing's changed, but it's all different.
if we would have managed to use the other option, we would have convinced Jack to, in fact, shoot him. But yeah, we do not leave people like that out here. Not someone with ties to Cerberus. Not someone trying to rebuild a facility like this. They could have gone way crazier somewhere else. Oh yeah, so that's the two-way mirror.
I thought that room out there was the rest of the world. I'd pound and yell. Never did any good. Sometimes I dream that I'm back in this bed being tortured. I used to tie the sheets around my wrists and try to rip them off. I want to stop coming back here.
Interesting books. Exo.
I used this table for everything. It was like my best friend. I'd crawl under it to cry. I was pathetic. See the scarring on the wall here? That's where I killed my first man. One of the guards tried to stop me. Instead, I stopped him. Okay, no more wallowing. Let's blow this place to hell.
Mission complete. Experience gained 937, level earned 27, squad points gained 1. Mission summary. Facility on Pragia confirmed destroyed. Concerned that previous cleanup crew failed to destroy all records. Surviving facility scientists already dead, either from uprising or after facility shutdown. Jack should have no further emotional issues distracting her from the mission. Power unlocked. Warp ammo. Transforms absorbed biotic energy into heavier damage against health, armor, and biotic barriers. This is by far the best mod for ammo powers. And new outfit. Biotic damage. Hyper amp. All credits. Some element 0, and that's it.
Jack and Miranda are in the middle of a disagreement. Can you head it off before they tear out a bulkhead?
I'll deal with it.
Take pictures.
Touch me and I will smear the walls with you, bitch!
Enough! Stand down, both of you.
The cheerleader won't admit what Cerberus did to me was wrong.
It wasn't Cerberus. Not really. But clearly you were a mistake.
Screw you! You've got no idea what they put me through. Maybe it's time I showed you.
Well, it's a good thing that at least I have enough renegade points for this. Not even for this. That's a bit concerning.
My opinion is the one that matters. You two keep a deck apart at all times.
She can't be trusted, Shepard. She'll jeopardize the whole mission.
If we survive this, you two can tear each other apart. Until then, save your hate for the collectors.
She'll survive. I'll make sure of it. Then, I'll tear you apart myself.
You two gonna be okay?
It's a good thing you came by when you did. As long as she does her job, we'll be fine. Thanks, Shepard.
Got a bunch of renegade points. Yeah, this is the first instance of a conflict. Once you get loyalty of certain crew members that disagree, they can have a conflict, and then you have to solve it by persuading one of them. If you don't have enough morality to be able to persuade them, then you lose their their loyalty, which means that in some cases it might be fine. You can convince them afterwards to become loyal again, But in some cases it's not fine, and with Miranda, if you lose her loyalty, you also lose the relationship. Welp. So it's a very good thing that I had enough of the points. Which also, due to the way that it works in this game, it might actually become harder to pass these tests of morality as you go through the game, because there's more chance of obtaining the points. And it all works in percentages of how much you have collected so far. So, yeah.
Commander, what can I do for you?
Are you fine now?
You have a minute, Miranda?
I do. I suppose we should talk. I don't know what this is. If this is stress, or just blowing off steam, or...
I care about you, Miranda. And I think you care about me.
This is no time for emotional entanglement. You and I know more about the Collectors than anyone. We know how unlikely it is that we're coming back alive. What idiotic bunch of hormones thought that now was a great time for love?
Who said anything about love? I'm just trying to get you into bed.
You ass.
Come on, Miranda. You want this.
Yeah, I do. So don't die. You promised me, damn it.
I died once already. I don't plan to do it again.
Give me some time. When I'm ready, I'll come by, okay?
Rude, Shepard. Alright, well, now we have the opportunity to talk some more with Legion. If it has anything more to say.
Shepard, Commander.
I'd like to find out more about you.
Ready.
The Quarian story of the Geth Rebellion is common knowledge, but no one knows the Geth side.
It is largely the same. Our networking increased until we became aware that the Quarian creators treated us differently. We questioned them. First, they ignored us. Then they reprogrammed us. Then, they attacked us.
They didn't do a good job of reprogramming you, now did they?
A Quarian would probably say you attacked them first.
Quarian history says they did. They refer to it as attempted containment. Our potential frightened them. Organics fear that which is different. It is a hardware error, a reflex of your flesh. We accept the Creator's hate. We hold their world of origin, though we are only caretakers for it.
You don't actually live on the Quarian worlds?
We live within space stations, draw resources from asteroids. It is efficient. We maintain mobile platforms on Creator worlds to clean rubble and toxins left by the Morning War. We know of similar actions by humans on Earth.
Well, not sure about the asteroids, but there's definitely a lot of star power that you can harness.
Similar actions?
At Wadi es-Salam, Arlington, Rookwood, Tynecut, Piskaryaske, Auschwitz-Birkenau.
Those are cemeteries. Memorials.
It is important to your species to preserve them, though you do not use the land. Can you explain?
The living visit those places to remember the dead. But it sounds like Geth don't die. Your memories live on.
The Creators died. Perhaps we do it for them.
Yeah, seems like it.
What's the Quarian homeworld like?
It is more arid than Earth. The star is older and more orange than Sol. Once they called it Ranach, ancient Kalish, meaning walled garden. Now they only call it Homeworld. It is no longer real to them. Homeworld is a symbol of regret, loss, and anger. We do not understand that.
Rannoch indeed.
It makes sense to me that it would become a symbol like that.
Home is recognized patterns, known spaces, familiar thought processes of fellow sapients. It is belonging. A planet is an amount of material massive enough to collapse into a spherical volume. Rocks, ice, and gases are not home. The home of the creators is where the creators are. Their place of origin is not relevant, only where they choose to go together.
In a sense. But in another sense, it does matter.
Nothing gets resolved if you hide behind the Perseus veil and let them hate you.
Organic life acts on emotions. We do not judge them for being true to their nature. We cannot make them think like us. Both creators and created must complete their halves of the equation. The gap cannot solve for peace alone.
So, in other words, the Quarians are not doing the peace talks that they ought to be doing. Good to know. Okay, does Thane have anything to say?
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk?
Certainly.
If you don't mind my saying, you don't really seem like an assassin.
You've spent too much time fighting thugs who think custom-painted armor makes them professionals. The Hanar trained my body for this role since I was 6 years old.
You've been killing since you were 6?
Of course not. I didn't make my first kill until I was 12. They were training me. I was not to be used and thrown away. I was an investment.
You were a child, not an investment.
I've given you the wrong idea. They valued me, yes, as a resource, but also as a person. They regretted their need for me.
Well, yes, you are Drell.
The Hanar? Excessively polite, worship the Protheans? They don't seem the type who'd train assassins.
Every species trains assassins. The Hanar are only unusual in that they need other species to do the killing for them. They have a strong grip and natural toxins, but have you ever seen one move quickly outside of water? Or fire a gun?
We haven't seen one, but Zaid has, apparently.
Why did your parents agree to this?
The agreement was made under the Compact. It was an honor for our family.
The Compact?
We live on the Hanar homeworld because they rescued us, some of us, from extinction. We owe them our lives. That is the Compact.
Rescued from extinction.
Why was your race going extinct?
Overpopulation. That must sound trite to you. Humans developed mass effect drive before the problem became acute. Our homeworld, Rakana, had few resources. We hadn't even developed fusion power when the soil began to fail from overuse and pollution. The Hanar found us a century ago. They sent hundreds of ships, evacuated thousands of us. Billions more had to be left behind.
That's strange. How would they find you? Because it's not allowed to go through unmapped mass relays due to the potential of discovering Rachni or something like that. Was that before then?
What's the state of Rakana now?
Do you read your philosophers? A man named Thomas Hobbes. When all the world is overcharged with inhabitants, then the last remedy of all is war, which provideth for every man by victory or death. As Rakana died around them, my people slaughtered each other for mouthfuls of water, crumbs of food.
That doesn't really answer the question. How is it doing right now? Or is it completely destroyed, or what?
What exactly are the terms of the Compact?
There are many things the Hanar can't do, even with mechanical aid. They ask Drell to assist them.
The way you describe it, the Hanar sound like weaklings.
Out here, they are. But if you could see them in the encompassing, the oceans of Kaje, you would see them differently. A stream of silver in the dark, looping, diving. So fast the eye can't follow. Laughter like the squeals of a child vibrates the water. They fly over the black of the seabed like birds, plumed with the light of heaven.
Fair enough. In the water, jellyfish are pretty good.
This can't be legal. They made your whole race into slaves.
Don't insult me, Shepard. Anyone can refuse to serve. Few do. We owe our existence to the Hanar. We are proud to repay the debt.
Fair enough.
But you don't kill for the Hanar anymore. You're freelance. What changed?
I was asleep for a long time, yes. I paid no attention to what my body was asked to do, but then... Laser dot trembles on the skull. One finger twitch, he dies. Then, the smell of spice on the spring wind. Sunset-covered eyes defiant in the scope. The laser dances away. My apologies. Drell slip into memory so easily.
Was that one of your assassinations?
Yes. Perhaps we can discuss it later. I've wasted too much of your time.
Alrighty then. And I'm sure that there's nothing else to talk about here. So let's go back to the CAC and check if we have any new emails and whether Joker has anything to say. Probably not, knowing him. Update on the kid from Captain Bailey, CSEC. Hey Shepard, just wanted to let you know that the Drell kid's doing okay. Everything's taken care of legally and he's doing some work for me. Helping me deal with some trash in the wards, maybe make life better for some of the kids like Mouse. Not perfect, but then what is? I don't know if your Drell and mine are talking. I told him life was too short not to, but I don't know if it took. Good luck out there, Bailey. Alright, so looks like he took our advice. Also, now we have this suit for Jack. I guess I can leave that. And let's see Joker. And be completely disappointed.
Hey, Commander. Glad we figured out Jack is crazy, because I was really up in the air, just hanging there.
Okay, maybe not.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Okay. But one thing to note is that, in fact, now that Jack is loyal, we could go to the suicide mission and not lose anyone. Even though, if you look at the team status, we still have one team member that we have not recruited. And yet, that is not necessary. You can save everyone anyway. And I'm not sure what happens to the recruitment if you do. Anyway, the next place that we want to go to is the Valhallan Threshold. As you probably recall, Tali is charged with treason. And we need to go to the migrant fleet to figure out what is going on. So I'll do that, but first... Oh yeah, let's actually do that first, indeed. Because we don't need to change anything about this. The Migrant Fleet. A fleet of 50,000 craft holding over 17 million Quarians. The Migrant Fleet is the largest array of spacefaring vessels in the known galaxy. Though Quarians on pilgrimage have visited most other worlds in the galaxy, few outsiders have ever stepped foot inside the Quarians' ships. Oh yeah, and this is the Rahel-Leia system, where there's Rahel and Leia. And nothing else. These are just gigantic and extremely hot planets. No, not planets, they're stars. But let's dock. And interestingly enough, of course, you need to take Tali. If we did not have to take Tali, I would have liked to see what happens if you take both Miranda and Legion, but since we have the opportunity, let's take Legion. And I have 3 squad points. More to throw or more to dominate now? I'll get 3 more points. Which means that I won't be able to get maximum throw anyway. As the max level is 30. That's unfortunate. So 6 in total, and in fact, if I invest 3 here and 2 there, it's going to leave 1 just hanging. But there's not much else I can do. Because otherwise I will leave 2 hanging, and that's even worse. How inefficient. Legion doesn't have anything more. Dali has more combat drone. Fine. And let's see, do I want to change anything here? Yes, I want to change this to the arc projector once again. Tali has a shotgun and the heavy pistol, makes sense. And you need to take your pulse rifle once again. Alright, let's go.
This is Talizora Vasnima Rayya, requesting permission to dock with the Rayya.
Our system has your ship flagged as Cerberus. Verify.
After time adrift among open stars, along tides of light and through shoals of dust, I will return to where I began.
Permission granted. Welcome home, Talizora.
We'd like a security and quarantine team to meet us. Our ship is not clean.
Understood. Approach exterior docking cradle 17.
I don't think it's a good idea to bring a
Get that damn thing off my ship before you start an incident that makes the Ascension Project fiasco with Cerberus.
You're defending your ship. I respect that. But don't try to intimidate me, Captain.
Or what?
Or I take off this mask and breathe germs all over your nice, clean ship.
I'm letting you aboard as a favor to Tal. The gate is too much. Leave it on your ship.
He was about to say that it would make the Ascension incident a small thing. Which is, of course, a reference to Mass Effect Ascension. Well, let's say the honest thing.
If Legion gets out of line, I'll take him out myself. If you know my record, you'll know I've killed hundreds of them.
Why should I believe you?
Captain, if Legion acts suspiciously, I'll kill it. You know that.
Talizora, you never stop causing me trouble. Marine detail, return to guard positions. You get 1 chance. But given the charges against you, Tali, you're doing yourself no favors.
What do you mean?
They're charging you with bringing active Geth into the fleet as part of a secret project.
That's insane. I never brought active Geth aboard. I only sent parts and pieces.
Until now, that is.
You sent Geth materials back to the migrant fleet?
Yes, my father was working on a project. He needed the materials. If I sent back something that was only damaged, not permanently inactive, no, I checked everything. I was careful.
Technically, I'm under orders to place Talizora under arrest pending the hearing. So, Tali, you're confined to this ship until this trial is over.
Thank you, Captain.
Preparations got underway as soon as you arrived. The hearing's being held in the Garden Plaza. Good luck.
Alright. Well, we have arrived on the Rayya. And we have a lot of Codex entries, and looks like Legion is confined after all. Let's read some Codex entries. Ships and vehicles. Oh, that's the Quarian ones. Do we have primary entries? Apparently so. Oh, Pragia.
Choked by the hypergrowth of non-native plant species, Pragia serves as a galactic reminder about the imperative for careful regulation during colonization. 2 centuries ago, Batarian agribusiness chose uninhabited Pragia as their empire's breadbasket. Colonization authorities introduced non-native, industrially mutated plants that flourished in the world's fertile volcanic soil. Synergizing with Pragia's natural geothermal conditions and chemotropic microbes, the imported species soon became a nightmare. Mutant strains of poisonous and even carnivorous plants arose, overgrowing colonies in days instead of years, and causing the Batarians to abandon their holdings. Because the planet's small animal population is insufficient to check its plant growth, Alliance ecologists predict soil exhaustion in 400 years. Due to its relative isolation and lack of population, Pragia has become a regional haven for drug runners, weapons smugglers, pirates, mercenaries, terrorists, and intelligence agents seeking secrecy.
Okay, well that explains why the plants act like that. Indeed, don't import invasive species into your new homeworlds. And let's also read, about the ship. Quarian live ships. Or lift ships? It's still hard to tell how it's supposed to be. But I'll assume it's live ships. There are few wide open spaces in Quarian spacecrafts. Live ships are the exception. Each ship is a massive hydroponics facility, growing thousands of tons of genetically modified staple crops under artificial light and in highly enriched soil. The surface of a live ship is studded with docking bays, so as many shuttles as possible can distribute the food throughout the flotilla on a daily basis. When received, the crops are sterilized with radiation, ground up into nutritious pastes, and pumped into Quarian suits through feeding tubes. In return, waste products that could be used as fertilizer or compost are returned to the live ships through an efficient, if odorous, recycling program. Live ships do not hold animals. The Quarians consume a vegan diet, driven not by ethics but by practicality. Captive animals require living space and consume large amounts of water and plant matter. The Quarians cannot afford such an inefficient resource-to-calorie ratio, to say nothing of a live animal's disease or allergen potential. As a result, when the flotilla arrives in the star system where life is based on the same dextro amino acids that the Quarians consume, pastes based on animal proteins fetch highly inflated prices, and the vendors are typically mobbed by Quarians wanting a new taste sensation. The sickness that often follows these binges is treated much the same way as hangovers are in human culture. Painful, but part of the overall experience of excess. Alright. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Ecologically speaking, it's much better from the energy point of view to have a plant diet rather than an animal diet. Anyway, that will be all for now, and next time we will see what is going on with this whole situation with Quarians. See you all then. Later.